Hello everyone to Nightly Drawing Part 29. We're almost to 30. I want to thank you all for enjoying my videos so far and for, keeping me supported on this journey of mine. Yeah. Anyways, let's begin. So, Faith. I want to talk more about him. I did say in the episode 27 I was going to talk more about him. So, let's talk more about him. I talked about some lore, kind of, not really. I talked more about who he was. Okay, so oh, fine. Okay, so let's see. What can I talk about Faith? I should probably talk about his. I think let's talk about more about his design and lore. So more about his past. Yeah. So, Faith. Faith is actually. I want to talk about the process I've made of him, because I did say that each main OC is technically a part of me, or has a part of me. I said with Senko, he was like me under the optimism, under the hope, and under, everything. He is me deep down in the core. He's the pessimistic side of me. That's Senko. Soul is my. I think it'd be my ability to just keep going. To actually no, that'd be hope. That'd be faith. What'd be soul? Well, let's see. If Senko was my pessimism side, faith is obviously my hope. The optimism in me. I think soul would just be how I act. Oh, right. I remember now. I said soul was how I was raised to be, not hardworking. Well, I was raised to be hardworking, but I'm not hardworking. But I was raised to just do my best. To follow rules. Well, not really follow rules. I remember it is how I was raised. I was raised to, work. I was raised to do this, do that. I was raised like that is how, like, the beginning of soul is to, follow routine. And then the ending of soul is to, break from routine. Senko would be, would kind of be, childhood going to adulthood, the losing of innocence. Soul, finding your freedom. Faith would be keeping hope and morals. Keeping your hope and morals into adulthood. You see, again, there are some times where everything makes sense and I'm able to just make things work and talk normally. And then there are some times where I stutter, or I stutter and I trip over my own words. I'm not sure why, it just happens. But that is faith. Faith is actually no, that's not how faith. That is like my process. I wanted to incorporate, because with Senko I already did like the loss of innocence, right? He went from this very happy, optimistic, hopeful kid to a very depressing, demoralized, pessimistic adult. Soul went from being just a routine worker to someone who found her freedom. And faith, I wanted to put, to keep your hope and keep your morals and keep your true self into adulthood, to keep it even as you grow. So that is what I wanted faith to be. Faith, I wanted to be a bit more, not realistic, but optimistic. So when I created him, he was very much he's the newest, technically. He's the newest out of the three. I had Senko, I said it before, I've had Senko since I was a kid. Soul was when I've had Senko, not Senko, I had Soul since I was around 17, 18, so about 2 years ago. I'm gonna take a quick sip of my water. Cold. Water is good, but I'm also getting really sleepy again. God damn it! I really gotta stop doing this. What time is it? I think it's like 3 a.m. Oh god. Anyways, back on track. And Faith, I've had him, I think maybe half a month. No, not half a year. That makes more sense. Faith is the newest out of the four. He is, which kind of like makes it like not sense, but kind of makes sense why he's also the youngest out of the four, since he is, the newest, so he's the youngest also. But it's just kind of insane how long OCs can stay with you, because I do remember Faith wasn't always Faith. He had a different name. Like every OC, I'm sure you guys know, every OC of yours goes through their own transformations. For instance, a good transformation, well, a good example would actually be Soul. Originally, I had Soul be, originally she was a he, Soul was a guy, and their land was actually wasn't in the heavens, in the air. It was actually, not underwater, but close to, like very, very, very close to water. And at first, Soul didn't really wield the sun. It was like, again, I'm kind of forgetting because it was such a long time ago. But originally, Soul lands was very different. His origin was different, and originally he was a guy. But now I've made it so Soul's the land where she lives in is in the sky. Her gender is now a woman, well, female, but same thing. And I flushed out her story a bit more compared to like the last one. And it's just kind of insane when you think about how much things can change over time. What was that? Oh, right. So Faith, my whole process, I talked about, his beginnings, but when I wanted to flesh him out a bit more, it was a bit complicated, because he's again, his naivety is both a curse and a blessing, right? Especially when writing him, because I have to make it seem like he's not just this, dumb kid who's way over his head. I want him to be competent. I want him to actually know things, but I also want to make sure that he doesn't, that he lacks the experience that other people have, which is why a lot of the time the older characters in his own story will often overlook him, because he's he's a bit younger. He's 16 at the time, or 15, and they do respect them. They respect his ideals. They respect him as a person, but they usually tend to overlook him because of his lack of experience. And a lot of times they try and tell him that, they tell him, they reinforce his ideals, but they also make sure that he understands that naivety is a weakness. Mercy compassion, and all these other things, they're not weaknesses, they're your strength. But being naive is a weakness, and that is a flaw. And so, that's not how dumb is. That's way more. And so, it's very hard to make a naive but competent character, because when it comes to him being he's the team captain of his team, he's very competent. He knows how to lead his team. His team respects him, but they also make sure that, hey, naivety, all this stuff. It's very hard to flesh out a character like that, in my opinion. I'm very new when it comes to writing. All my life, I wanted to be a writer, but I only really started maybe a year and a half ago. So there is that. That's like the process of me making him. And then there is his design. His design is, with each character, Senko has very ripped, very, not dirty, but you can visibly tell he's very rugged. He looks like he literally he looks like he's been through hell and back. He has very rugged clothing. They're some of it's ripped, some of it it shows you that he doesn't really care about the wear and tear. So after her the ending of her story, she's very composed. I've talked about this in her video. She looks like a leader. Her uniform is composed, straightened. Her hair that usually was messy is a bit more composed. It still shows it. It's still not messy, but it's still her hair, but it's now a bit more tidy than usual. And Faith's whole outfit is supposed to show his openness. He has very free flowing outfit. He has not a coat, but a jacket that's usually always open. He has light, the color palette is very light to show how he is as a person. His pants are a bit not loose, but they're a bit baggy. They're not tight, but they're a bit loose to show how open he is to people, how no matter what. They're very tiny, I'm realizing. That's why, because they're like this. To show that he's very kind, very open to others. And I wanted to express that through his design. I don't have any of their designs drawn, because as you can see, I can't draw good. But I do have them, the descriptions kind of written down in my mind. God, I'm very tired. So there's that. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I'm talking about kind of his design. He has a very open, very light palette. I talked some about his lore. Yeah, I could talk about his lore. So, Faith is raised by his brother, his older brother, and he lost his parents technically because of him. Not really. He was only a baby at this point, but his blessing came in really, really early, way too early, and when it activated, they were living in a city controlled again. Well, no, I keep saying again. I'll explain more about the city and the settings in different videos. But basically, all you need to know is that in this city, it's controlled by the Elder. I think I talked about them before. And they make sure that no blessings are ever activated, that no one has a blessing, because having a blessing means you have power, and they don't want you to have power, because having power means you can overthrow them or stand up for yourself. And so they have like a sensor. It picks up an activation of a blessing. They go to the parents, well, the house. They end game the father first. The mother gives chance for the older brother to pick up baby's Faith, and then the older brother runs with baby Faith. The mother tries to hold off the guards. The guards end game her, and his older brother is about to end game, but a agent of the organization of free choice shows up, saves them, and from here they go to another city that's under control of the organization instead of the elders. And from here they gain some support from the organization, money to support themselves, like a small apartment and all that stuff, some groceries, food. But his older brother has to step up. And the thing about his older brother, he doesn't blame Faith for anything. He doesn't even tell Faith about the reason his parents died. All he tells Faith is that their parents died in an accident. That was it. Because he doesn't want Faith to blame himself for something he didn't do. And so Faith's older brother has to basically grow up himself. He's only 12. Well, he's only 13. Well, I'd say 15. Yeah. His older brother is only 15 when Faith is like 1 year old, and he has to grow up very fast to take care of his brother, and he does. Faith grows up to be an amazing and kind person because of his older brother. And Faith wants to repay that. Faith wants to be what his brother always wanted. Well, not always wanted, but he wants to make his brother proud. And even sadder when eventually his older brother endgames in the arms of Faith later in the story. I'm telling you now, technically these are all spoilers because, yada yada yada. But when I eventually actually make a manga or make an actual novel or some type of literacy form, literature media form, it's very doubtful that these videos, my first videos, will ever, they'll probably be buried, right? So I don't really have to worry about spoilers or anything like this. But hey, if you're seeing this, that means, sorry for spoilers, but it's fine. So yeah, that is Faith. He is a kind and loving person. God, I think it's the sleepiness. He's very much the ideal person. And his major flaw is his naivety that he will have to learn the hard way. He has an older brother. I don't know his name. A lot of these names are work in progress. Oh my god. Work in progresses. So none of these names are final. None of these things are final. So, yeah. I don't know what else I can talk about. I talked about his design. I talked about his lore, kind of. Oh, I forgot to mention, he did meet Desmond as a kid. And this will be the first domino to, them meeting later in life. The first domino. It's kind of insane how this chance encounter as kids would lead Desmond and Faith, well, lead Desmond to be obsessed with Faith and to just wanting to break him. I'll talk about Desmond in probably his own video or like in a video with like the villains. But until then, I should definitely go get some sleep. I am on the verge of collapsing. But yeah, until then, that'll be it for me. If you stayed to this point, I really hope you enjoyed my content, and if you did, I really appreciate if you comment down something, liked, and maybe subscribe. Who knows? You don't have to, but I definitely appreciate it. But until then, well, until the next video, I hope you guys have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night, because I need some sleep. But yeah, until then, guys, bye bye.